Hiya, this is going to be a very short tutorial on how to use Microsoft Word. It's going to be very basic. I'm using Windows 8, okay, so the layout you use, if you're using an early operating system, will look slightly different. You'll have the start menu around here. Obviously you press the start menu there, and then you would select programs, Microsoft Office, then Microsoft Word. So I've got a slightly different operating system here, and I've got the tiles here. I just select Microsoft Word there. I'm running Word 365 or Word 2013, however you want to call it. So just to let you know, that's the version I'm using here. So it might be different to the version you're using. As you can see here, there's a number of templates you can use. Word's very useful for creating a number of different types of documents. You've got letters, flyers, website creation, forms, reports, envelopes, labels, handbooks, resumes, newsletters, agendas, brochures. There's quite a few options that you've got to fully use Microsoft Word. I'm just gonna go for the basic blank document and show you a few sort of basic features within that. So you click blank document. Okay, so first of all, I say this might be completely different to you. This is what's known as a ribbon. All sorts of different options on here, but as I say, it might be different depending on the version of Microsoft Office you're using. It's all pretty much essentially the same. What it can do, it's just how it's laid out. First of all, I'll show you how to change the file size, or not the file size, the page layout. Orientation, and you can click on portrait or landscape. This might be different, as say in your Office version of Office, but on here it's under page layout and then orientation. Okay, now what we're going to want to do, now that's currently set to landscape mode. Depending on the type of document you're using, we're going to click on portrait because that's the standardized format for majority of documents. And I'm just going to reduce the view at the moment. You got the zoom button here, you got 100%. I usually like doing about 75%. It gives you an idea of the width. You go scroll up and down there. Okay, so that's the width and the zoom sorted out. I'm going to click back on home. You've got another options on here. You've got the font type here, the font size. You've also got other options like bold, italics, underline, and you've got text color there, and a few other things that we'll look into later on. Okay, so if we wanted to type a letter, okay, this is a letter. Okay, now you decide that you want this a little bit larger. You'd use the mouse from the first letter. You hold down the left mouse button and drag along until all of the text you want to look at is highlighted. You would then click on the font size tab and you change it. Now on my version of Office, it actually changes before I've actually selected. It should give you a preview of how big the actual the letters will be. So we'll just have it on 22, for instance. Okay, want to change the font type? Click that down there. Again, it gives you a preview. Just outside, you can just about see it there, of what the font will look like. Plus you can actually see it on here as well. That's a nice one. Also, you play around with it. You've got bold here. Take that off to show you. Italics and underline. You can have all three, or two of the three, or whatever you want. Okay. So say you want to, let's take it off the bold, italics and underline. You want to move that, you got the options here to justify it left, to center justify it, or centered, or right justify. You just center there and right. And this is all dependent on your margins as well, which we'll look at now. If we go to page layout, again, this could be slightly differently laid out in your version of Office. I've got it on here, margins. Now I've got a set number of options on here, where you can click on custom margins and you can amend it accordingly. Oh, that didn't work properly. Maybe I should have clicked on that, custom margins. Okay, so I usually have it set to at least one on and all of these options on here. So just literally type one there. You can adjust them up and down using these little up and down keys here, or you can just literally do this. It's a lot easier. You can also change to landscape here as well. Okay, so that gives you a bit more space, or quite a lot more space, as you can see, so that now when you want to move it over, you've got a lot more room to maneuver. Okay, have a play around with it, but it's very, very useful. So we've covered the how to adjust the orientation of the page, whether it's portrait or landscape, changing the font size, changing the font, sorry, there's font size there, the font type, the bold, italics, underline. To change the color, haven't shown you that yet. Select this. Again, it might be slightly differently laid out on yours. Again, it will give you a preview, which should do. So it'll have a nice blue there. Maybe have a bold as well. There we go. Looks a lot better there. And you can really take advantage of that if you've got a color printer. Okay, so have a play around with it. Do some writing a letter, say perhaps draft out a formal letter, say for instance. Write out your address, this section here, okay, and then right justify it so that it is over on the right hand side. So your address would be here, and then go to the next line down and put it onto the left justified and start typing out your letter. And I will give you a preview of what that looks like. So as you can see here, this is a mock-up of a letter. Just did. You can adjust the text however you want it, just by literally selecting all the text. You can adjust it so the size is much smaller, larger, however you want to do it. Just bear in mind, always keep checking that it fits all on one page. Okay, but for something like this, I would say 20 is a nice sort of size. Also have a play around with using italicized. You highlight the text here, click on italics. It's always nice to have the name and address and the date in italics. Perhaps the dear Mr. Hargrave in italics, and your name at the end. Makes it a little bit more formal. Have a play around with it, and you can write a letter however you want to do it, and that is essentially it. You can have a quick look at what it would look like if you were to print it, and that's how the page would look when you go to print it. and then you'd select print and print it out accordingly. So I hope this helps. We've gone through, let's say, the orientation page, whether you want portrait or landscape. We've gone to the different types of fonts you can have, font size, bold, italicized, underline, text color. I've also looked into left justify, right justify, and centering the text as well. This is a basic, really basic, very quick sort of tutorial on creating a Word document using Microsoft Word. Hope this helps. Many thanks.